Today I'm going to be sharing part 2 of renovating our porch. And this is what it looked like after part 1. It's time to start working on the cushions for the porch. And you will notice as we get into the video that I've taken some of the cushions off and some of the seating off because we had way too many pieces of furniture out here on this porch. And actually some of them were already destined to go other places. So let's get started. I'm Peggy and welcome to Garden House Studio, and I am going to be remaking these cushions. The pillows are amazingly firm, so we're going to keep those. But we have to measure them so that we know how much fabric we need and also how to cut the fabric. So originally I thought these were square, but it turns out they are 26 one way and 25 high. So 26 going across, and that is how you would measure for a cushion. You would not measure edge to corner to corner. You measure right across the middle so that you have enough to make enough give to get that poofiness. And now I'm measuring top to bottom to get that other measurement. So what I need is enough fabric to add a 1/2 inch seam allowance all around. So my cushion, to cut it, it needs to be 27 by 26. And now it's time to measure the cushion. These cushions were not original to this sofa. They are floppy, they don't fit, and they're made just out of polyester, almost like just 20,000 layers of quilt batting. So they're super soft. And when you sit on them, you actually feel the metal in the from the settee. So we are definitely not using these cushions. We are making our cushions out of a firm foam. And they were way too big. They kind of flopped over the edge. So when I measure for a seat cushion, I do not measure the cushion. I actually measure the settee. I want my cushions to fit, so I need to know how big is the space that I am putting my cushions on. So I'm going to take everything off the settee so I can measure the base. And because we use this porch for our Airbnb, I didn't realize that it really needs to be repainted, but I am not going to get a chance to do that this year. So that'll be a fall project because we need our porch to stay in use for the rest of the season. So my settee, the bottom of it is 44 inches, which means each cushion has to finish at 22 inches wide. And from the back to the front, my number is 22 and a half. And I'm going to make that 23. So my finished cushion needs to be 22 inches wide and 23 inches deep. I'm going to measure these cushions just to show you how off they are. So they are, it says 23 inches wide and 24 inches to the front. So it's about an inch bigger on each cushion, an inch bigger in the length and an inch bigger in the width. So you'll see when you put the cushions on, you have to really push them in to get them together. Now, you couldn't do that with a real firm cushion, but with these polyester things, you just shape it and push it in there. And the big cushions just sit on the back. They're really great. They're super firm, and I think the fabric that we have is going to work really well with this settee. But you see inside these back pillows, again, it's just polyfill. It's a dark colored, but all it is polyfill. And we are going to make covers for those before we make covers. In other words, I'm going to have a cover inside so that that polyester fiber is not just loose inside my cushion. I'm using this outdoor upholstery fabric for the cushions and the pillows for the back of that settee. And it is a fabric that I got on Amazon. It is 62 inches wide, and it is very, very pretty. It has this beautiful blue design, wildflowers all over it, and I really love it for the porch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut out my bottom cushions. So I'm using the measurements that I got when I measured. The fabric, of course, it can't come on a roll. It comes folded. So you do have these lines in it, which they will come out after time, but you really can't iron them with a hot iron because this fabric is 100% polyester. Now, once I have it all marked out, and I do mark it on the back side, and I do use a Sharpie marker, I will cut it out, and I try to get that pillow made as quickly as possible because this is polyester and it does tend to ravel. So when I use this fabric, I zigzag all my seams when I'm done to make sure that my pillowcase is going to last a long time. I need 4 pieces for that bottom cushion, so I am going to go ahead and cut one out, and that one I am going to use for a pattern to cut out the other 3. I also need boxing, I need welting, and I need a zipper placket for my cushion. So I'm going to pin that down and use it as my pattern and cut out my next one. Now this is outdoor upholstery fabric is what it says it is. It's pretty thin, so I'm not real sure how it is going to hold up for a long term if it was really outside in the yard. But on a covered porch, I think I will get a lot of use out of it. And it is definitely polyester, and it probably will be really easy to vacuum it or even damp cloth over it to get anything off of it. The cushions for the larger sofa are also the exact same size as the ones for the settee. So literally I am making 5 bottom cushions the same size and 5 top pillows the same size. And I am cutting out 5-inch wide boxing. My foam that I'm using, that I'm going to be cutting to make the cushions, is 4 inches thick. So I need a 1/2 inch for my seam allowance on each side. So I'm cutting my boxing 5 inches. I'm also cutting the boxing that I'm going to be using for the zipper at 5 inches. And then what I do is I fold it exactly in half so I know it's going to fit perfect. And I actually, for this, because it's polyester, I'm going to use the side of my scissors, kind of put a knife edge into that where I'm going to put my zipper. Usually I would iron it, but I am not going to even attempt to iron this polyester outdoor fabric. So once I have both sides of the zipper folded in, I can then cut my welting. And the reason you put welting all around your cushions is it makes a much stronger seam and it protects that front edge from getting worn away too much. So I'm going to cut my welting, and I literally have what I call a welting stick, which is the exact size that I need for welting. And what it is it has the seam allowance built right into it. And I will show you all of the different things that I need to make a cushion once I have this cut out. You need quite a bit of welting, which you put a welt cord inside this welting to go around a cushion. All of these strips of fabric are 1 3/4 inches wide, which makes for a seam allowance and enough space to fit the welt cord inside of it. And this is probably one of my least favorite of the jobs, is cutting out all of this stripping for welting. But it makes such a big difference in really making cushions and pillows look professional and neat. So, what are all the parts that you need to make a boxed cushion? You need the front and the back. First off, cut exactly the same. Then I need enough welt cord to go all the way around the front and all the way around the back. So it's a lot of welt cord. I need my boxing, which goes all around the whole cushion, the boxing. And then I have the boxing, which actually has the zipper installed, and that goes around the back. I haven't put the zipper in that yet, but that's where the zipper will go, in between those two pieces. And that is what you will need to make a cushion. And here is our first pillow made for our settee with this fabric. Here we are back at the porch. We've taken everything off the porch and we are ready to start adding things back now that the renovation is in full swing. The first thing I'm going to put on the porch is this great rug, which I got from Amazon. It is an outdoor rug. It is 6x9 and it is all the colors, the gray and the blue that I want to have. The floor and the walls really make the space. So those are your big areas and the first to do. And since the walls are already painted and there's nothing I can do to change that, we're working on the floor first. So I have this outdoor rug, put it in, and I love it. All right, the rug is in. Now it's time to add a little bit of furniture. First thing, let's put that little settee back. Add the cushions. Add the pillows. And then we're going to add the pillow that we made. Perfect blue. And here comes one of the side tables. And just for fun, I'm going to put in the box that we decorated, and it has a plant in it. And even though I'm not done with the whole porch, I had to put it back together because we rent this house as an Airbnb and we have people coming for the weekend. So this is how we left the porch, and pretty quick, we'll get it all done. Stay tuned for part 3 where we finish our porch renovation.